We want to thank Comcast Business Class for sponsoring Networking Squared for the month of April. And thank you very much for their participation in Networking Squared. Welcome back, Networking Squared. A good Saturday morning to you. I'm just waiting for the weather to be 50 again. I am on the assumption that spring will not arrive now till July or August. I just want nice weather.
It's that global warming, Jerry.
Yeah,
it is really a big deal. It's global warming.
Yeah, well, the only warming I'm getting is from my high energy bills. So we're here. We're talking Networking Squared. We're talking business. We are talking Talon SBS, and I'd like to bring in the studio Todd Lutonen and also Josh Holowicki, if I got that right. I hope I got all of that right. And we are always in, and this was something that Al started. He said, this is a no acronym zone. He started that in the beginning of the show. If you come here with an acronym, we're shooting you down because not everybody does industry speak. So don't give us the acronym. So tell us, Todd, SBS.
Well, SBS is Small Business Solutions.
Okay. And Talon, where did the name Talon come from?
Well, I like unique names because they're easier to get the .coms for, and they're easier to trademark. But my middle name is Alan, first initial T Allen, Talon.
Gotcha.
Hey, my name's Alan, too.
Well, although nobody calls him Alan. And you guys are working with small businesses. And Josh, would you give me an explanation on what you consider a small business?
Sure. For us, a small business is really that company that has gotten beyond the startup phase, and they're looking to be a real small business. You know, they want to charge the hill. They're ready to go. They've got a great product or a service. They've got an available market to offer it to, and they're ready to rock and roll. And so that's where Talon fits well with folks, and that's who we're working with.
So when you put all of this together, you wanted to help small business. That was the goal then, right?
Absolutely.
So on helping small businesses, do they think they're already doing well, or are they coming to you and going, I don't have a clue? Or how are they finding you?
Most small businesses are out there successful in some ways, but certainly feeling a need in one or more areas of their business. And so they're both successful and struggling at the same time, and they're looking to take their business to the next level. So we really engage them, individual entrepreneurs at that level, and really help identify what can bring them into the next phase.
I think we see a lot of people who've blamed the economy on reasons that they weren't able to grow. And I think that what we have to look at from the entrepreneurial spirit is that you can't look at excuses like that. And I think that you have to embrace the other things that are out there and looking at the other things that are available. So that's what I'd like you to elaborate on that portion of it, as far as, you know, people taking that off and saying, I'm not blaming the economy. What is it about my business that I can do?
Well, to answer that question a little bit differently, I think that the most successful small businesses today are companies in southeastern Michigan that are still in business, that have been in business for the last 3-5 years, that have gone through this downtime and have proven that they have what it takes to make the adjustments and the changes necessary in this kind of a down environment. So my hat's off to all of those existing small businesses today, because
Absolutely.
They are certainly proving that small businesses are the heartbeat of the economy.
But I think that we still have to look at the fact that they need to grow, and they need to recognize that it's not okay to be stagnant. And I guess what I would ask is, what are the signs that you guys see on the companies that you represent?
Every company is at a decision point, right? You're either looking to grow, they're looking to reposition in this market, right? They made it through, but maybe the product or the service is looking to align better with a new clientele. It's the Who Moved My Cheese, right? If you ever read the book, Who Moved My Cheese, the cheese has moved, so we're going to a different spot. So looking to grow, looking to reposition. Some folks are looking to exit, right? Might be selling the business, might be transitioning the business to other leadership within it. So really, they're at a spot where they're ready to make a decision, and that's where we're lining up with these entrepreneurs in that decision-making and identifying where they're at right now, what decision they're ready to make, and where they want to go.
And to your point, Al, those businesses can't simply do nothing. They have to make a decision. They have to make a choice because the cheese has moved. The economy has changed the landscape. And if you're not going to recognize that and try to do business the way you did 3 years ago, it's just simply not going to work.
Right. And I think that the problem for a lot of people is they don't have answers. They don't know what to do. And so I think that's where the system that you guys have in place can really become that answer for a lot of people.
Okay, and there is quite a system that they have here. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I want to do a little bit of background. And for Todd, can you explain quickly your former business? You were in business for a long time, and you were an entrepreneur yourself.
Right. Out of high school, I co-founded a software company in the mid-'80s. My father worked for IBM, so I was around computers as a youngster. We wrote software for the mortgage industry. We serviced in small banks and mortgage companies through the 90s and all the way up to about 3.5 years ago when we sold the business. And we grew it from originally 8 people up to 60 people. And so we went through not having a lot of outside consulting and learning the hard way and made a lot of mistakes along the way, but grew it through those things.
Well, mistakes are a great way to learn, and now you're taking that and helping people on the entrepreneur side, but you're not there to help people that are starting out a business, and you're working with the second phase or second stage type businesses?
Correct. And if we talk about phase 1 and phase 2, phase 1 being 1 to 10 employees, 1 to $1 million in revenue, phase 2 being the next level above that separation between those two phases is really where a lot of companies start to stagnate in terms of growth and their success. And so we're there to help them reach over that line and become a phase 2 company.
Go ahead.
But as far as entrepreneurs are concerned and startup businesses, there's a lot of great organizations out there, a lot of services for startups, and we're really looking for taking the startups after they've established themselves and really help them at that stage.
All right, that makes sense. And then for Josh, you've just been around business your whole life, all of your family. Interesting that you have an uncle. Is that an uncle that's got a fishing boat up in Alaska? And I know Al had a really question on this. He just goes, can he see Russia from his fishing boat? And I just, sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
Yeah, I do. I got an uncle in Alaska. It's sort of the all-American story, right? Did the hitchhike thing right after high school, went up there and found a boat and got on it and started buying into it over the years, and now he owns the boat outright. And it's just like you see on Deadliest Catch. As a matter of fact, they asked him to be on the show, but he declined for reasons of safety. But yeah, I've been around entrepreneurs and business owners my whole life. As a matter of fact, I've been up to Alaska, been on his boat, and learned a lot of great lessons there as that experience.
Stay inside the cabin.
Yeah, don't be a fisherman.
Yeah.
That'd be one I'd have learned.
Go ahead. Actually, well, continue on with your story.
Sure. For me, being around entrepreneurs my whole life, when we're sitting around at Christmas, Thanksgiving with all the family, we're all dialoguing, we're all talking about business, right? And so that's what I grew up around. I've got another uncle owns 16 McDonald's franchise restaurants and a lot of other small business companies, from carpet stores to landscaping supplies. So it's something that I grew up around as a passion that I've always had, and I've been involved in small business during high school, after high school. I went to, graduated from Eastern Michigan University with an entrepreneur degree, because that's where my passion is, and those are the businesses that I'm excited about being involved in.
I think that when I look at this, and what I really like about what you guys are bringing to the table is that you've lived it. You're not looking at it. You haven't bought a franchise that is doing this. This is actually something you guys have developed. You've put in place. You've developed software that I've actually used in my previous career, which is kind of cool. But what I really like about it is that you've lived it. You see it. You've eaten, drink it every day, and I think that we have so many people that are new, have had businesses for a period of time, and whether they've left the big three, they've left corporate America, and they've gone into this, and I think they don't know how to take that next step. And I think that's really what you can be, as the voice for that person who doesn't know how to take the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, I've been involved in small businesses, like I said, since high school. One amazing opportunity I had was being part of a very aggressively growing local small business, and had the privilege of being part of the leadership and moving that company from about $600,000 in revenue to about $1.8 million over the very short time period of about 3.5, 4 years. So, that experience of rapid growth is both got those growing pains as well as the exciting wins. And so learning that and seeing that is something that has really helped shape who I am and who my vision is. The vision that I have in the small business community.
Well, one of the programs that you guys developed was the 276-point assessment. And one of the things I had asked Josh, I'm going 276, why not 352? Why not 184? And tell me a little bit about that process.
Well, the number was what we counted afterwards. We didn't set out to reach a specific number, but that's just what it came out to. But the process, which we call the Biz Strength Profile.
All right, say it slow.
Biz Strength Profile is a process that we take an entrepreneur through. They bring to us their accounting books and some other documentation. We sit down for 2 to 4 hours with the business owner and go through an in-depth interview. And then we take industry research that we do offline. We bring it all together and produce a report. We bring the entrepreneur, business owner back in, and then we go through the report. And what that does is it charts where their business is, what their strengths are, and where there's some opportunities for growth. Now, that's all fine and good, but when we take it to the next level is really bringing in the goals of that owner, what they want to achieve, and then really seeing then where the gaps are between what they're good at and what they want to be good at. And therein lies the next steps, which is what will take them to achieve their goals.
All right, and this is a free process.
Yes, we decided that in our on how we were going to market our company, how we were going to engage with our clients, how we were engaged with small businesses. And we decided that nothing we do is going to matter until we really understand their business, until they really understand their business, and they really understand what the opportunities are. And so we decided, rather than spending a lot of time, no offense, on radio advertising, that we would spend our money and energy in engaging with small businesses, providing these profiles, and then the next steps would be our revenue stream.
All right. Well, I want to touch base on more of this on the other side of the break, and give your phone number real quick before we go to the break.
That's 248-919-1950.
And I know that for Josh, you have your own extension?
Yeah, you can reach Todd at extension 1 and myself at extension 2, and we're available regularly.
All right. And we'll be right back on the other side of the break. We're going to find out a little bit more about this. We're going to talk about your website. We are Networking Squared. We'll be right back.